The Dodgers are betting favorites to trade for Paul Skenes. What are the percentage chances that it actually happens? Also, what will the Dodgers trade deadline plan be? We got an exclusive interview with Max Muncy from the Dodgers Dugout, and Shohei Ohtani gets a gift. That's coming up next on Dodgers Dugout Live.
It's time for Dodger baseball. Welcome to Dodger Stadium.
This is the golden age of Dodger baseball. The Dodgers are building a dynasty.
You guys want a parade? We got a parade! The Dodgers punch back and head to the championship series.
Ohtani starts the 50-50 club.
Monkey magic!
Freeman hits the ball to right field. She is gone!
Start the party, Los Angeles! Your Dodgers have won the World Series!
Think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
What is up, Dodgers Nation, and welcome to another episode of Dodgers Dugout Live, the #1 Dodgers podcast and Dodgers show on YouTube. My name is Doug McKain, credential member of Dodgers Media. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMac_LA. If you're new to the channel, do me a huge favor. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, hit the like button, join the Discord, join the big lead. Every episode of Dodgers Dugout Live starts with the poll question of the show. Today, I asked you over on the X, who is going to have the biggest in-season bounce back? And right now, 54% of you say Max Muncy, 34% of you say Tanner Scott, and 12% of you say Michael Conforto. All are trending up. Michael Conforto, he was over his last 30 with runners in scoring position yesterday. He gets a big knock to put the Dodgers ahead that led to the win yesterday. Tanner Scott, 2 straight scoreless appearances from Tanner Scott, 4 strikeouts. Max Muncy has been the hottest player on the planet over the last couple of weeks, and we're going to talk to Max Muncy a little bit later. It's going to be a lot of fun. I had a really nice conversation with the Funky Muncy in the Dodgers dugout a few days ago, talking about his future with the organization, some inside baseball stuff. Can't wait to get to that. But of course, every episode of Dodgers Dugout Live starts with the leadoff.
Leading off, the hottest story in Dodger baseball.
All right, so I've spent a couple days at Dodger Stadium, talked to a lot of people, learned some stuff, and the first thing that I want to start with today is I want to talk about Paul Skenes, because my DMs are flooded. My mentions are flooded. People ask me, D-Mac, are the Dodgers going to get Paul Skenes? Dodger Stadium security asking me, are the Dodgers going to get Paul Skenes? Fans at Dodger Stadium asking me, D-Mac, are the Dodgers getting Paul Skenes? Well, right now, according to BetGM, the Dodgers are the betting favorites. 5-2 odds, a plus 250 to trade for one of, if not the most dominant pitchers on the planet. The issue with Paul Skenes is a couple of things. I was told by a Pirates insider that I trust, that knows more about the Pittsburgh Pirates than anyone on the planet, that there's a 0% chance they're going to be trading him. There's 0% chance that they're going to be trading him to the Dodgers. And what I was told is, he said, quote, I'd bet my life that he's not going to get traded to the Dodgers this season. So I hate to be the one that pours cold water on your Paul Skenes dream, but I was also told it's impossible to put a valuation on him, that he's baseball's version of Mona Lisa. How much is Mona Lisa worth? Who knows? $1 billion, $2 billion? You're worth what someone's willing to pay for you. And for Paul Skenes, you're talking about the most dominant starter on the planet with 4.5 years of team control. That's pre-arbitration. And his value is unprecedented. Even if you included the Dodgers' top 4 prospects, even if you were willing to go that route, even if you were willing to say, you know what, he's available, let's go for it. Let's go all in on Paul Skenes. Here's Dalton Rushing. Here's Josue Apollo. Here's Zaire Hope. Here's Alex Freeland. Here's Jackson Farias. Even if you're going to give all those guys, Ferris, Freeland, Hope, DePaula, Rushing, more guys on more guys, it's still impossible to put that valuation on him. Because if you're the Pirates, the only reason you would trade him is because either one, you don't think he can stay healthy. He's someone that throws 100-mile-per-hour gas. He's been up to 102. And the stats show that the guys that throw harder are more likely to get injured. Billy Beane once said there are two types of pitchers, ones that have had Tommy John and ones that are going to have Tommy John. And with Paul Skenes, it remains to be seen if he's going to be able to continue this dominance and stay off the IL and be healthy for an extended period of time. And if the Pirates felt like maybe they could gut another team's farm system for 7 or 8 players that could help them with their rebuild, then yeah, it would make sense for them. The Pirates are a team that they've shown no willingness to commit to winning. And the truth is, Paul Skenes is someone that throws every 5 or 6 days. They need good position players. They need just a better team overall. And right now, they're not going to do it because of how good he is. They are claiming they want to build around him, but that's not the case. The studies show differently. Look, if the Pirates this offseason, if they went out there and they brought in Anthony Santander, if they went out there and brought in a Pete Alonso, they could contend. They refuse to do that. So I'm just telling you right now that Paul Skenes is most likely not going to be traded. Like I said, I was told by as prominent of a Pirates insider as there is that he's willing to bet his life that he will not be traded this season and he will be traded to the Dodgers. Now, that's just where that's at. So it's not even too much to get into. I mean, really, that's just the truth of the matter is even if you were able to give those top 4 prospects, I don't even think it would be enough. I really don't. I mean, you would have to include Hollywood sign, an In-N-Out, the Sandy Koufax statue, the Jackie Robinson statue. You would have to include all kinds of stuff on top of everything. You can't give up money for him, right? I mean, anything over $1 million has to be improved by Rob Manfred, so it's not a cash consideration situation. It's not a thing where you give up draft picks, right? That's not how it works in Major League Baseball. But the more important issue as it relates to the Los Angeles Dodgers is what do they do as far as their deadline plan? Will the Dodgers be aggressive at the trade deadline? Because this offseason, Andrew Friedman has already said that he did not want to be aggressive at the deadline, that he did all of his shopping in the offseason, and that he said, quote, the trade deadline is the worst time to buy because the prospect capital that it requires to get players is too high, right? You had to give a lot of top prospects to get guys in return. Last year, of course, the Dodgers, they were in a position where you had to get a starter because you were missing out on key guys. Tyler Glasnow went down and you didn't have Shohei pitching at that point. Yamamoto was out. There were just so many question marks with the Dodgers that they ended up making a trade. They traded catcher, first baseman Tyrone Lorenzo and shortstop Trey Sweeney for Jack Flaherty. And it worked out. Without Jack Flaherty, the Dodgers don't win the World Series. Had his ups and downs, but Captain Jack was the jack of all trades. He was the trade pitcher that had the biggest impact on his team. And I think this year, it's going to be a different story. And for what I've heard is that the Dodgers are going to avoid making a trade for a big starting pitcher, at least right now, because they have full confidence that the guys that are out are going to return. And this was also said in the LA Times. Jack Harris said that the Dodgers are unlikely to be overly aggressive at the trade deadline leading up to that July 31st deadline, that they're unlikely to make overly aggressive moves on the trade market leading up to the July 31st deadline. So I think that Andrew Friedman has already made it clear that they would be interested in adding another right-handed reliever. They, of course, already traded for Alexis Diaz after Evan Phillips was lost for the season with Tommy John surgery. But you look at the starting rotation, and they're going to bank on these guys coming back. And it is a major risk. I just want to point that out. I always say hope is not a strategy, but the good thing for the Dodgers is it's not just one guy that they're hoping to come back. If it was just one guy that they needed to return and you were putting all of your stock, all of your faith, all of your hopium in that one dude returning, then I would be a little overly concerned. But the truth is they have depth. They have a lot of options they can turn to in this situation, right? You've got Tyler Glass now. You got Blake Snell. You got Roki Sasaki. You got Shohei Ohtani. Yoshinobu Yamamoto. He stayed healthy this season. But they are going to need, at the very least, 2 of these guys to come back, pitch at a dominant level, and remain healthy throughout the end of the season and into the postseason. Because my concern right now is that they're putting too much on their bullpen. And yes, a lot of these guys aren't going to be here, right? I mean, you're still without Kopech and Kirby Yates. They're going to hopefully be back this weekend. That's the plan. Brusdar Graterol, Blake Trinan are going to be back at some point later this season. You'll get Emmett Sheehan back, who can start. He can also come out of the pen in a hybrid role. So they're getting some reinforcements. But right now, the Dodgers have a team ERA of 4.13. That's 22nd in the sport. They have 17 quality starts. A quality start, 6 innings, 3 runs. 17 for the Dodgers this year. That's bottom 5 in the sport. You also look at how many times the Dodgers have gone 6 or more innings this season. Dodgers starters have gone 6 or more innings just 18 times this year. That's the 4th fewest in Major League Baseball. So they have not gotten a lot of coverage from their starters, and that's because guys are out. Now, Dave did say about the starters, he said, quote, "I'm very confident we're going to get them all back." There was a pen for Tyler Glasnow. His body didn't respond, so we're trying to figure out when we can ramp him back up. As far as a return plan, there's certainly a cautiousness to it, because as you start getting into the middle of the year, then any setback could be detrimental for the rest of the season. So he brings up a great point, is when you bring one of these guys back and you do it later, if he gets injured then there's not enough time for them to recover for the postseason. So you really have to make sure that when these guys come back, that they come back and they're healthy and then go for the rest of the way. I do find it interesting that there was a big kind of not on the same page moment with Dave Roberts and Glasnow. Dave said that he was feeling some body soreness about Glasnow and that he didn't respond. And then Tyler Glasnow, the very next day inside the Dodgers clubhouse, he told us, "I feel totally fine. My shoulder's totally fine. That issue I haven't felt since I started throwing. It was fine. The back tightness really was just, I think, a precaution. I felt totally fine. I'm good to go." So the good thing for Glasnow is during this whole process where he's been trying to get back on the mound, he feels like he's kind of found a balance with the new mechanics that he brought into the season that was supposed to take some pressure off that elbow, and the adjustment that led to, which was the shoulder becoming an issue. He feels like he's kind of felt a nice balance developing in the last couple of weeks. And he said, trying to meld a best of both worlds situation. But right now, I really feel really good mechanics-wise to just be athletic and throw. It's enabled me to just be myself more now. And I hear you guys out there. Some people are frustrated with Tyler Glasnow. You guys call him Tyler Glassarm, and you saying he's a bust. The truth is, if Tyler Glasnow comes back and he's able to pitch in the postseason and helps lead this team to, at the very least, 1 World Series, that contract is worth it. It truly is. And sure, Ryan Pepiot is pitching very well with the Tampa Bay Rays, a 3.2 ERA. He's made all of his starts this season. But I still think if you offer the Dodgers Ryan Pepiot back for Tyler Glasnow and the money, they still wouldn't take the trade. And the reason for that is because Ryan Pepiot is not a Game 1 starter. Ryan Pepiot is not a Game 2 starter. Tyler Glasnow is. And the Dodgers have shown us they're always willing to bet on that upside. And there's just always these questions about Glasnow. You guys ask me all the time, D-Mac, what are the changes? What has been the big difference? Well, this offseason, the Dodgers got together with Glasnow and they said, okay, we're going to look at the spine angle. And if you look at his throwing from last season, the way the upper half of his body was creating that force to the plate, his spine angle was a little out of whack. So when you look at the arm slot, he was at 58 degrees. Now he's at 54 degrees. So you're looking at the way that he's releasing the baseball, it has dropped. It's gone from 5.99 feet, and that's where he's at now, to it was at 605. So it's a little tweak, but it's about the spine angle and being a little more fluid and being more athletic. And then hopefully that is a way that he stays on the mound and that shoulder stops barking. But they feel like he's going to come back, so you have to trust it. As far as Blake Snell, the same situation. He dealt with positives and negatives and setbacks and all kinds of stuff to start the season. He's made just 2 starts. And I think the issue with Blake Snell was that he was pitching through something early on. Had he just went to the trainers, went to the Dodgers and said, you know what, I'm going to be honest about this. I know I signed that big contract. I know you guys pay me to be an ace, a Cy Young, but something is just not right. And look, he was pitching with the check engine light on. Snell said, I can't wait to get back. He said this to AM 570's Dave Vassay. He said, having to wait, it sucks. It's a long process, but I'm going to go slow. I'm going to make sure I'm ready. So when I start pitching, I can get going and do my thing. So he's the same thing. They're being cautious. And for him, it was a matter of pitching through shoulder pain. And then he goes on the IL on April. It goes on the IL, and then he starts throwing a bullpen session. He threw a bullpen session on April 19th, but it just didn't bounce back. It wasn't feeling right after the bullpen session, and he was shut down again from throwing. They gave him an injection. Now he's feeling good. The pain subsided, not feeling soreness, going through his progression, and I think that Blake Snell is going to have a really strong second half of the season, and he's going to be just what the Dodgers had hoped he would be. Then there's Shohei Ohtani. He has not had any setbacks either. Threw 29 pitches last Saturday, working his full arsenal, sitting mid-90s, going against lefties and righties. That's another option. Roki Sasaki, he's been in good spirits. He's been throwing. And they're hoping that this little reset has allowed him to revisit some of those mechanics, and hopefully we get some of the velocity back with him, and we see the dominant Roki of the year that we were hoping to see. So you look at how many options they do have, and you're not desperate to go and find a starting pitcher. So that's why, yes, we've talked about Walker Buehler as an option. Yes, Sandy Alcantara is out there. But right now, unless 1 or 2 of those guys is going to be shut down for the season, I don't expect him to go out there and be aggressive to get a starting pitcher. Because if you do that, what the heck do all these other guys do? The Dodgers have dropped $800 million on this rotation if you include Shohei Ohtani, right? Almost $1 billion in starting pitchers. So if you were to go out there and get a starter and that guy comes back, is he even better than what Glasnow or Snell or Shohei or Roki or Yamamoto look like on their best day? The answer is probably not. Okay? Hey, you don't have to go out to dinner. You don't have to go out to eat when the food at home is really good, right? And the home cooking for the Dodgers is a 3-star Michelin chef meal when everyone's healthy. So that's why I don't expect them to do that. And then right now, you got May, you got Gonsolin, you got Kirsch, right? You got other tiers of guys that can still help this team. And then look at the Landon Knax and the Justin Robleski's, Bobby Miller. So they have depth. They also have high-level starters too. So to kind of tie a bow on this, I'm hearing that as of right now, don't expect the Dodgers to be aggressive from a starting pitcher standpoint. And if they're going to make a trade, it's going to be for a right-handed reliever. They've got Tanner Scott. They've got Alex Vesia. You got Anthony Bondo's pitching better of late. And then we'll see if they add another bench bat. But this team is stacked. They just need to get healthy. They're still in first place despite missing the majority of their rotation to start the year. So if this team get healthy, they can go on a run, and they still have all the pieces to go back-to-back. But coming up next, got an exclusive interview with Max Muncy from the Dodgers Dugout. Really excited about this. That is coming up next on Dodgers Dugout Live. And welcome back to Dodgers Dugout Live, the #1 Dodgers show and podcast on YouTube. Okay, so I caught up with Max Muncy inside the Dodgers Dugout a couple of days ago, and I just want to say that Max Muncy has had an incredible bounce-back season. And I've said it earlier this week, he really does feel like an underrated Dodgers legend. Like, he really should be included when you bring up some of the great Dodgers. I mean, you got the Andre Ethiers, the Matt Kemps, and guys like that. I mean, if you look at Muncy's numbers, he's a couple of home runs away from passing Matt Kemp for most home runs in Los Angeles Dodgers history. I think it's time to really wrap our arms around Max Muncy and let him know that he is a certified Dodgers legend. He's got his once a Dodger, always a Dodger card. He's had a lot of big moments for this franchise. But here was my conversation with Max Muncy. What up, Dodgers Nation? We are joined by two-time All-Star, two-time World Series champion here on the #1 Dodgers podcast and Dodgers show on YouTube, Max Muncy, the hottest player on the planet. Max, first of all, I don't want to do. I got to get like Max Muncy, man. I gotta put the glasses on, man. I gotta put the glasses on, man. And I gotta say, first of all, you've heard a lot about the glasses, right? And what I want to say though is, for your whole career, you've averaged like 32 home runs per 162 game season. I mean, the glasses should be happy to have Max Muncy, not the other way around. You've been a great player your whole career, but I mean, just how have those glasses helped you?
Yeah, you know, it's funny. Everyone wants to relate what I've been doing recently to wearing the glasses, and you know, I'm not ready to fully buy into that one just yet. But it is hard to deny I've been playing better since I, put the glasses on. But for me, it was just one of those things where just over the last several years, noticed I was becoming, I had always known I was left eye dominant, which is tricky as a left-handed hitter, being your back eye, and felt like it was becoming more and more dominant over the last several years. Because I used to wear sunglasses during day games when I hit, and the last 2-3 years I wasn't able to do it because I was seeing too much of the nose piece when I was in the batter's box, and that was kind of the first sign to me that was like my left eye is really starting to take over. And when I talked to the eye doctor about it, and he was kind of like, hey, this might be able to help you out, I was sure, something I'll try. And it took a while to get used to, but now that I've fully adjusted to it, I don't mind wearing them, and it's hard to deny the results.
Yeah, just kind of what's the origin story of it? Was it Kike's optometrist, and like whose idea was it, and are they here to stay?
Well, it's the same guy. I've been going to him for 8 or 9 years now. He's a great dude. He's awesome. I love going to hang out with him, and it's just one of those things where he always did the eye check every year and always had great vision. And this year he just kind of mentioned something, and I was like, yeah, my right eye hasn't been as good as my left eye, and he just mentioned, you want to try something? And I was like, yeah, sure. I mean, at this point I'm open to trying anything, and so it was one of those things where that's just how it happened. It was kind of just an idea, and we rolled with it.
Yeah, big league hitters are going to be lining up around the block to see their optometrist, trying to get the Max Muncy special. But to remind everyone, Max Muncy and Kelly Muncy, they partnered with Uncorked for a Cause to host a special wine tasting auction on June 12th at the Intercontinental Hotel. Every guest in attendance will receive a bottle of Muncy's Sonoma Reserve Cuvée, and they can uncork that when they celebrate another World Series title, right? But what can fans expect? I mean, the Dodgers players going to be out there. You're going to be out there. An awesome event to help us. Great cause. But what can you say about the event?
Yeah, it was just it was something that really my wife was extremely interested in. And Uncorked for a Cause, they do a lot of great stuff, and they reached out, asked if we wanted to maybe do anything. And for us, just seeing the devastation in the community from the fires is one of those things where we jumped on it. We kept trying to figure out how we could help, and this idea popped up, and it was kind of a no-brainer for us. Just we've built our home here in LA. It's become home to us. We've been a part of this community for so many years now that just getting an opportunity to help them out as much as we can, we felt like we had to jump on it. And so the night's gonna be a fun night. There's gonna be lots of stuff up for auction. There's some jerseys, some bats, some wine bottles that'll be signed by the team, and all the proceeds are gonna go to help fire relief out around the LA area.
Yeah, it's a great cause. You got Dodgers players there. It's a must for all Dodgers fans. If you're watching this, if you can go, you better go. It's going to be an exciting night. Are you a red wine or a red Budweiser guy? I mean, I know you like your beer, and I like to throw some back, but you got to class it up too with some wine. Am I right?
I think that's going to depend on the scenario. If we're winning the postseason series, give me the Budweiser. It's fun to splash those around everywhere. But I mix it up. I do enjoy a good red wine every now and then. I try not to drink too much, but if you go out to a nice dinner, a glass of red wine is hard to beat.
Awesome. Now, so kind of getting back to this season, early on the year, you kind of got a slow start by your standards, and everyone, all your teammates, Dave Roberts, he told me that you're as good of a hitter as anyone he's ever managed. Just kind of what it mean to have the support from your teammates, and is there kind of a moment or a conversation you had with Dave that kind of let you know, hey, this guy supports me through thick and thin? fan?
I mean, it means everything to know you have the support of, your coaching staff, your front office, your teammates, and just, seeing those guys every single day trying to back you up, trying to keep you positive, and that's something that this clubhouse has done really well. Not just with me, with anybody. When anyone goes through a rough stretch, everyone's always there to pick them up, be like, hey, you got some big ones coming, don't worry, don't sweat this, you got some big ones coming. Everyone's going to go through a slump at some point in the season. Well, maybe not Freddie. He seems like he's, on fire right now, but yeah, everyone's going to go through something at some point in the season. It's baseball. It's bound to happen. Mine just happened to come right at the start of the season, which is the worst time you can probably have it. Just you don't have anything to kind of back you up, and so you're really working from scratch. And but as I've kind of talked about before, I was hitting the ball hard, and that to me was like the positive sign I kept taking. It was like, hey, you're making good contact. You're making good contact. Just clean up a little bit. Cut down the strikeouts a little bit. Start making more contact. But when I am making contact, I was hitting the ball hard, just not getting the best results out of it. That to me was what I was trying to build on, is just keep the positivity on that, is that, hey, if I wasn't hitting the ball hard, then we got to start worrying about changing everything. And for me, just knowing that there was still hard contact there, I was building on that, and that was able to get me to where I'm at right now.
I was talking to Aaron Bates, and he was telling me that when you start to crush those fastballs up out of the zone, you're going to cover everything else. That's how you can tell you're locked in. Does it feel like you've just found your rhythm and this is going to carry out? Obviously, it's baseball. You're going to have some downward slides during the year, but does it kind of feel like you're in a good spot for the rest of the way?
Yeah, right now it feels really good. And I agree. When I'm handling the high fastball, that's when I'm at my best. I'm able to set my sights where I think the top is, and I can just work my way down from there. And that's what I've really been able to do the last several days. And when I can handle the fastball up, that really gives me the confidence that I can kind of stay on anything. And when I can handle it up without having to cheat to it, that's when I really know I'm in a good spot. And that's what I like to build on, is just working on the fastball up.
Why are your bat flips so cold? I mean, where does that come from? I mean, it's just, there's like an aggression, like a nastiness to it. I mean, I think you're a top 5 all-time bat flipper. I mean, but do you agree?
I don't know where it just happens. It's one of those things where I've never thought about it. I've never said I'm going to do this. I've never planned on doing anything. They just kind of happen in the moment. And, a lot of them tend to be emotion-based. Last night, for example, being able to get us back in the game after making that stupid mistake earlier, right? That's where the emotion comes out. It was, and that's really how they've always happened in the past. It's just, there's a little bit of emotion behind it, depending on the situation of the game. And, whatever comes out, comes out.
Yeah, and one thing I think that everyone loves about Max Muncy is, I mean, you start here, you've been the guy that's hit more home runs than anyone in this organization since you've been here. You're on a club option after this season. Is that ever go through your mind this year, and would you like to be with the Dodgers past this year and kind of get something locked up so you can retire here someday?
Well, I don't think it's any secret that I would love to retire here. I've made that very well known, but in terms of how that works out, I can't worry about that. Right now, how I've always gone about it is I worry about what we have in front of us today, and that's a game against the New York Mets with Griffin Canning starting. And then, when tonight's over, you move on to the next day. We got a day game tomorrow, travel day. That's how I've always gone about my business in terms of that stuff. I just try to focus on what I can for today. How can I get better today? What do I need to do in the cage? What do I need to do on the field? What do I need to do, in the weight room, training room, trying to keep my body healthy. And then when the day's over, you go home, you enjoy your family, and you show up the next day, and what do you focus on getting better for that day? And if you're able to do that and just kind of stay within yourself, all that kind of stuff takes care of itself in the end.
Yeah, because like wine, I mean, you're aging like fine wine as far as being productive, being great. I mean, you want to play this game much further than next season, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would hope so. I hope I still got several good years left in me. And like I said, that's kind of stuff that just takes care of itself. And for me, the goal is to focus on the here and now. And right now, we have a really good team, and just trying to do anything I can to help the team win the games.
Yeah, because I always kind of like to ask players, like, when's the last time you kind of Googled yourself? When's the last time you kind of looked at like where your numbers stack up with the other Dodger greats? You're close to passing Matt Kemp. You're close to passing Steve Garvey for most home runs as a Los Angeles Dodger. What does it mean to kind of be included in that list? And I mean, you come back for the next couple of years, you could end up maybe passing EK one day for the most most home runs in LA Dodgers history. I'm telling you, man, you're a 30 home run guy. It's a lot when you're healthy.
Yeah, it's really cool to me. It's an honor and a blessing just to be included with a lot of those names. Those were all extremely great players for the Dodgers, and this organization alone, just being as historic and successful as it's been, and just groundbreaking as it's been, to be able to be included in any of those names is truly a blessing to me, and it's something that I really don't take for granted. And without this organization, I probably wouldn't be in baseball. And so it's one of those things where to be able to do all that for the organization that you love so much, it means the world to me.
Yeah, I was gonna ask that too. I mean, you're someone who, they got the Shoheis that were scouted since they were 9, and someone like yourself, you've continued to persevere throughout your career. Like, just how close were you to going to the KBO or trying something else, and then you end up here and look at you winning World Series, making All-Star teams? It's honestly a movie.
Well, after Oakland, that was pretty dead set on retiring, actually, and I had an offer to go play in the KBO, and I didn't really want to take it. I was pretty dead set on retiring, and after you sit there on the couch for 3-4 weeks, you realize maybe you want to give it another shot, and everything's kind of turned out how it has since.
Hey, by the way, you're the only Max Muncy at Oakland A that I believe in, okay? I just want to point that out for sure. What is the best baseball advice you've ever received? I mean, short, sweet, anything that kind of just comes back into your head when you need something?
Have fun. Just remember why you play the game. It's to have fun. And for me, I have a couple more reasons why I'm playing this game now. My family, my kids. That's something that I have their names on the back of my glove, and I'm always rubbing that to remind myself they're why I'm playing this game, to have fun. And for me, that was the biggest thing that changed for me, was just find a way to have fun out on the field any way you can. There's always something you can do to help the team win, but if you're not having fun while you're out there, then what's the whole point? And so for me, that was the biggest piece of advice that I've ever gotten and that I ever give to anybody.
Yeah, and it's not a lot of fun to face you on the mound right now. I just want to point that out. Now, got to ask you about Shohei Ohtani. I'm always asked, I get some time in the clubhouse, time on the field, what's he really like? When you're asked that question, what's Shohei Ohtani like as a teammate? Kind of what's he like when no one's around? I mean, how would you kind of describe him? Here he comes right here.
He's awesome. He's a lot of fun. He loves to joke around. He likes to play little pranks on everybody, and he's always smiling and laughing, having a good time. And the best way that I describe him to everybody is when you were 10, 11 years old, there was always that guy you played with that you swore was 16. He was just so much better than everybody. That's how he feels. He's just a little kid that's just better than everybody else out there. And he has so much fun with everything that he does. And our meetings, the plane flights, the bus rides, he's always just cracking jokes, and it's fun to be around a guy like that, to be such a global superstar, and to realize just how humble he is and how lighthearted he is, and just how much fun he loves to have everybody.
Yeah, I think for me, it's you see he's the only guy that says hello to the umpire every inning, right? Every time he has an at bat. But then also you saw the what he did when you guys hit the home run against the Diamondbacks with Gurriel. I mean, was that a little troll job? I mean, he's got that dog in him. I feel like it's almost the dog comes down those big moments.
I have no idea on that one. That's I don't know that any of us have ever actually talked to him about it. My honest guess is he wasn't trying to troll him. He was just celebrating that moment at that time. There was a lot of talk about him not getting the job done with runners in scoring position at that moment. And so I think for him to come through with that big home run, it was kind of yes, I'm doing it, even though we all knew he was going to anyways. It's not like that was ever a question. So I don't think he was trying to troll him.
Yeah, no, it was coincidence, right? But here with the great Max Muncy, a couple more here. I want to ask you, I'm always asked you, who's the leader of the Dodgers, the clubhouse leader? For me, I mean, it feels like all you guys are professionals, all you guys are stars, superstars. I mean, but is there if any type of rah-rah guy, if you need a moment, you need a speech or anything like that, who would that guy be? A lot of people would say you, right?
It's hard to single out one person. Yeah. There's just so many guys that, lead in their own way, and I think that's what makes the clubhouse so complete is, you have so many different guys that can do things differently. And I was just talking about Mookie, and, Mookie's one of those guys that's always leading on the field, trying to help out guys. Someone was asking me what he was talking to me about in the infield, and, he's just trying to spread any knowledge that he has, whether it's hitting, whether it's on defense, whether it's base running. He's always trying to give knowledge to everybody to make himself better. And so that's how he leads. And then you have a guy like Miggy Rowe, who is very vocal in the clubhouse and keeping everybody positive. And, that's what he does so well is he loves to have fun and joke around with people, but he's also very good at keeping everyone positive. And so there's so many different guys that lead in their own way, and that's why it's so hard to pinpoint one guy on the team.
Was there any moment during the 2024 run that stands out as far as just a moment that kind of brought you guys together to kind of go and have that run?
For me, I'm always going to say, how special it was that the players took control of how the team was going to, be ran. And that was something that started during our last series of the year in Colorado. A bunch of us got together and we talked, and we said, this is how we want to do things this year. This is how we want to handle the 5 days off for the bye. This is how we want to handle the travel. This is how we want to handle the hotel situations. This is how we want to handle what we're doing on the off days. And for the players to come together, meet like that, and then go to the front office and say, this is how we're going to do things this year, and not even question, just this is how we're going to do things, and for them to be like, sounds great. To me, that's the thing that I'm going to take away the most, is just the players taking over the team and saying, this is what we're going to do, and when we do it, we're going to win, and that's how it worked out.
And do you feel that same closeness on this team? And then also want to ask you, you guys have a chance to do something that has been done in a long time. That's go back-to-back. Now, the standard here is always to win a World Series, but is that something that you kind of lean into? Like, this is a team that people could talk about forever because of the opportunity that you have to do something that has been done in a long time.
Repeating in baseball is one of the hardest things I think there is to do in sports. It's just, we talk about it all the time. When you play deep into October and November, the body doesn't have time to heal, and you deal with a lot of injuries. And we've already seen that as it is, but you see it with other teams all the time. The first time they make it to the playoffs, they all break in half the next year. And when you have to go to the playoffs every single year like we've done, it really takes a toll on your body, and that's why repeating is such a hard thing to do. And for us, we know the depth we have, we know the team we have, and that's one of those things where even though when we go through a couple bad stretches, no one in the clubhouse falters. We all know what we have. We all know where we're going to be at the end, and it's one of those things where you just kind of weather the storm, and when things start rolling well, you're going to have a lot of fun with it.
Awesome. We got Max Muncy here. A couple quick ones on the way out. Okay, you guys are on the road. Expensive dinner. Which teammate is most likely to pick up that bill?
We usually spread those around.
Venmoing, Zelling?
No, there's usually not one guy. There's a lot of guys on this team making money, so whenever we go out to dinner, it's usually split, and each dinner is usually different guys.
All right, bar fight. You're picking two of your teammates. Who you picking? Tab your back.
Do they have to be active right now?
No, you go back.
Well, Zooks is in there.
There you go.
Yeah, well, I'll take Gratterall, and then oh man. I'm gonna go wild one, and I'm gonna pick Comet. I feel like he'd have some quick skills to
Quadzilla, right?
Get in and out. Be quick on people, get behind them. I feel like he'd be a good one.
Which Dodger teammate would be your emergency contact?
Either Freddie or Kirsch, probably. We got a lot of kids. They know how to handle things.
Love that one. Okay, where are your World Series rings?
I'm gonna keep that information private, but they're in a good spot.
Why'd you choose 13?
That's always a funny story. When I signed over here at the Dodgers and they put me in OKC, they asked me to pick a uniform, and in the minor leagues you recycle uniforms every year, and they maybe get a new uniform once every 5 years or so. And so when I got over there, the club he was talking to me, he said we had like 7 and 13 and 20 or something like that. He goes, well, no one's ever worn 13. I said, well, I'll take 13 then. It was the cleanest jersey at the time, and I had a really good year, and so I just kept it the next year going into spring. Iconic.
Okay, what's your favorite team celebration throughout the years? You got the Shohei right now with this. You got the Trey. I mean, there's so many to choose from, but do you have a favorite? Freddie?
The Freddie dance is hard to beat. Just because the origin of it.
Gone through multiple seasons too.
Yeah, just the origin of it, how it's came about, how it's stuck, and it's always fun to see which guys really get into it out there.
Awesome. So the last thing here, we're going to go see how well you know your Dodgers teammates as kids. Father's Day is coming up in a couple weeks. Who's that?
That's Freddie.
Really? That's pretty quick by you. That is. You're right. All right.
Conforto. I feel like that's going to be Shohei.
Boom.
Mookie.
Look at the stance.
Yeah, it's the exact same. Oh, man. St. Mary's. Gonsolin?
Yep, there you go.
That's Kirsch and Stafford.
Yeah, I was going to say, did you know that? It's a fun fact. It's a little known fact.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone knows that one yet. Yoshi?
Yep.
Eulis, so that's going to be Dustin May. Tommy. No.
Pitcher.
Rookie. That's Tommy.
That's Tommy, yeah. This is an easy one.
Blake.
Yeah, that one. Oh, here we go. A little tougher.
Will.
Oh, man, you're undefeated.
Yeah, that's me.
Just playing. Last thing I want to say, though.
If you don't want me to watch the ball, you can go get it out of the ocean.
Last question here. What would current Max Muncy say to this version of Max Muncy, knowing that you're a two-time World Series champion, a two-time All-Star, and you made all your baseball dreams come true?
Always believe in yourself and don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
There he is, the great Max Muncy. Be there June 12th. Of all the information. You have to go. Auctions, live entertainment. Teammates going to be there. The great Max Muncy, certified Dodgers legend. Join us here on Dodgers Dugout Live.
Awesome.
Thanks a lot, man.
Thank you.
Well, there we go. We had the great Max Muncy. He was awesome. Great to catch up with him. And yeah, I mean, this is a guy that clearly wants to finish his career with the Los Angeles Dodgers. And look, I mean, we'll see how this year plays out. I mean, I think you look at the pace now, is on pace for 24 home runs, and he has a big postseason. The defense kind of gets to where we saw it last season. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Dodgers at the very least pick up that club option. And who knows? I mean, this is a guy that hasn't had contract talks with the team or anything like that. But I mean, if he has a Max Muncy finish to his season, I would not be surprised to see him have a career here that goes on past next year. Now, I do want to bring the attention to his event. I mean, it's a great cause, a great charity. Join Max and Kelly Muncy for a powerful evening of wine, food, and community as they host Uncork for a Cause, a special charity event to benefit the Los Angeles Dodgers Foundation and the YMCA of Foothills Fire Relief and Recovery efforts. It's held on June 12th at the Intercontinental Los Angeles downtown. This meaningful gathering will unite the Muncies, his Dodgers teammates, his friends, special guests, and community supporters to raise critical funds for Angelinos. Guests will enjoy tasting from a curated lineup of top-tier Napa and Sonoma wineries, including Amici, Cellars, Blackbird Vineyards, Be True Wines, Cast Wines, and more. The evening will also feature exciting live entertainment and silent auctions offering game-used Dodgers memorabilia, VIP stadium experiences, wine, lots of elite producers, signed artwork and collectibles, exclusive wine country travel packages, and much more. It was really cool in the Dodgers clubhouse. There was these 4 big bottles with all these autographs on it. So you're going to see tons of stuff. Dodgers memorabilia, a VIP Dodgers stadium experience. So it's going to be awesome. And as a thank you, each guest will receive a complimentary bottle of Max's limited edition Sonoma Reserve Cuvée, crafted from a single barrel exclusively for this event. Max will be signing bottles during the evening with all inscription donations going directly to the cause. So raise a glass, make a difference, and be part of something bigger than baseball. Reserve your spot today. This is one night you will not want to miss. So definitely, if you can go, I highly recommend it. You are going to be surrounded by the Los Angeles Dodgers, celebrities. It's LA. It's going to be live entertainment. So for more information, go down below in the comments. We got links for the Uncork for a Cause event hosted by Max and Kelly Muncy. Also, we dropped our newest episode of the Fan Cave series hosted by our guy J-Rob. And here to talk about it is J-Rob. J-Rob, what we got going on today for the Fan Cave?
Well, I first want to say thank you to everybody who has submitted. We've had 6 episodes of the series. Episode 6 just dropped today. I want to give a shout out to Frank Guerrero, Dave Vasquez, Matt Weig, Manny Valenzuela, Rich and Roxy Garcia, and our episode 6 winner, Enrique Jimenez. These fan caves have been awesome. All the people who have submitted from their homes. I mean, we have got to look at homes from Utah to Michigan. I mean, even one guy submitted a Dodger fan cave all the way from Australia. So to the fans out there, thank you so much. If you want to submit and be a part of this competition, go to dodgersnation.com/fancave. We've been giving away certificates. We've also been giving away $50 Amazon gift cards to all of our winners. The prize pool will continue to go up as I check these episodes out. But thank you so much for being participants in this Fan Cave series. And I'm excited to see the things you guys sent me for episode 7. So thank you so much, Dodger Nation. I appreciate you.
There he goes. Thank you, J-Rob. So yeah, go to the latest episode of the Fan Cave series. A fun watch, a great watch. Really, really cool stuff. But yeah, how fitting is that? That Max Muncy, he's got his biggest moments of his season, his greatest run, and you're heading into this series against the Cardinals, going up against a guy, Nolan Arenado, who they thought, hey, maybe he's the guy that replaces him. So we'll talk about that and more coming up next on the 7th inning stretch.
The 7th inning stretch.
All right, D-Mac, this is from Joe Megazzeni. So any more on the Nolan Arenado trade? So we talked about Nolan Arenado a lot on the show in the offseason, and right now Nolan Arenado not having a great year, hitting 228, 296 on base, slugging 379, and 88 weighted runs created plus, so he's been below average offensively, and in 7 home runs. The defense has been great, there's no doubt about that, but offensively, Max Muncy is having a better season even with the down start. Even with the rough start, where Max Muncy went 105 plate appearances, without hitting a bomb, the largest and longest home run slump of his career, hey, he's still having a better offensive season than Nolan Arenado. Now, Max Muncy, believe it or not, somehow, some way, after that long slump, Muncy is 19% above league average offensively. So Arenado is 12% below league average offensively. Max Muncy is 19% above league average. Now, defensively, that's the area where Max Muncy needs to improve. Max Muncy has been very open about this. Muncy has said again that he's capable of being a better defender. Dave Roberts has backed him up in saying that. Right now, he's -7 outs above average in the 1 percentile. And we know that Arenado is, look, he's one of, if not the best defensive third basemen in the history of the game. He's a Platinum Glove Award winner. The defense, really good, 2 outs above average in the 86th percentile. But I will take Max Muncy's offense over Arenado's offense. And I think that Max Muncy's defense can improve more than Arenado's offense can. So I think that even for the remainder of the year, I don't anticipate Arenado doing what Max Muncy can do at the plate, but I do think that Max Muncy, who had his best year defensively just 1 year ago, can improve defensively enough that you can justify. So that's my thoughts on that. Julian Anthony, D-Mac, why is Buehler in trade talks? Why trade him in the first place if we're going to sign him back? Look, I don't think that those are even conversations that have been had with the Dodgers and the Red Sox. The Red Sox struggling 4th place in the American League East, about 4.5 games back in the wild card, so they're not completely out of it yet. I do think that we saw last year. Look, I mean, the Detroit Tigers, you traded Jack Flaherty and you weren't completely out of it, and you still made a run in the postseason because you had Tariq Skubal. They have Garrett Crochet. So because of the fact that Buehler's on a 1-year deal, you could theoretically see that, hey, maybe that happens, right? Maybe they do decide to trade him. And look, the reason why they didn't bring him back is because they felt like they had better pitchers, and they still feel that way. And Buehler wanted an opportunity where he could have a more prominent role in a rotation. Justin Lamas, hey, Doug, shout out to Hollywood. He turned 35 this year. Bullet. By the way, Bullet Dodge. You're talking about Anthony Rendon. Who's Anthony Rendon? Look, some guys hate baseballs like Max Muncy does when he crushes one. Some guys hate baseball, and that's Anthony Rendon. I heard someone say that Tyler Glasnow was the pitching version of Anthony Rendon. Should have just, I mean, that's the biggest bruh. That's the biggest bruh. That's disrespect. I hate that, and it's not true. 4-seater 777. Is there Andy Pajes interview in the near future? It would be interesting to see his personality through the interpreter and his DMAC or Noel's questions. Yeah, I mean, it'd be pretty cool. I mean, Andy Pajes is someone that certainly is continuing to do a lot in his career. And I think that at this point, you could say that Andy Pajes is making a run to be an all-star. I actually asked Dave Roberts this yesterday after the game when he went 7 for 17 in the series against the Mets. Hey, is Andy Pajes playing like an all-star? Here's what David had to say.
Then Andy's 7 for 17 this series. Just how impressive you've been with him, and does it almost feel like he's playing at an all-star level?
Yeah, he is actually. In 7 for 17, and there are a few lineouts in there, and so he's just really swinging the bat well. There's confidence is a big thing, so he's playing with a lot of confidence, and he is playing like an all-star. Yeah.
And he has been. I mean, the numbers bring it out. I bring my facts to the fight. Right now, Andy Pajes, a 134 weighted runs created plus. That's 4th among NL outfielders. So that's fourth. 12 home runs, that's fourth. A 2.2 F4, that's fourth. 2.6 B-WAR. 10 defensive runs saved. That leads all outfielders in the National League. I'm going to scream it at the top of the highest mountain. Andy Pages deserves all-star consideration. And more importantly than that, the Dodgers have done it. They did something they haven't done in a while. That is develop a position player that looks like he has the potential to be a foundational player for the foreseeable future. Andy Pages is the best Dodgers position player they developed since Will Smith, and that was back in 2019. So credit to Andy Pages for all the work that he's put in. Credit to this Dodgers organization for not moving on from him and giving him the runway and the leash that he needed to make something of himself. And I think that it's pretty clear at this point, Pages has turned the Pages on that slump that he was having, and he's here to stay, and I think he's going to factor into the future. I mean, if you look at Andy Pages, his numbers are better than Teoscar's for this season. That's how good he's been, and defensively, he's been great. So, love what I've seen from Andy Pages. Make him an all-star. I think the all-star locks for the Dodgers, I got this here from Cloudy 11. What are the all-star locks? Shohei, I think there's a good chance he makes it. Freddie, decent chance as well. Of course, those guys are locks on locks. And then Yoshinobu Yamamoto could be in consideration to start. Probably won't, but he could be in that mix. He has a couple dominant starts. And then Will Smith. Those are the locks. Mookie, I still think gets in because of reputation. Hasn't had that super all-star season offensively, but defensively he's been an above-average shortstop at a premium position. I still think he deserves to be in, but the four locks are those. And I think Mookie gets in. And then Andy Pages could be in the mix as well. So you're going to see a well-represented Dodgers all-star team for sure. Ellis Shiva Jones, D-Mac, your opinion, who is a better defensive second baseman between Edman and Kim? Just defense, it's got to be Tommy Edman because Tommy Edman's won a Gold Glove at the big league level. Kim has won the Golden Glove in the KBO as an infielder, but Kim's got a strong arm. He's got great range, but Edman, he's a special infielder for sure. Claudia 11, how tall are you, D-Mac? Muncy looks small next to you. About 6'7". No, I'm just playing. About 6, something like that. MP, D-Mac disagree. What if Nolan goes to see Dr. Lou as well? It's interesting. Yeah, I mean, if I'm Nolan Arenado, you might want to make the call. Go see me. Hey, how about Dr. Lou gonna get that World Series ring? I mean, give him the World Series ring if Muncy and Kike continue to produce. 4-seater 777. When they remodeled the clubhouses, did they make sleeping quarters for Shohei and the players? Any sleep pods or anything surprising? 4-seater 777. Not that I know of. They did have a bigger space, so the chair is a little comfortable, but these guys have places to take naps. I mean, the training room was where you can lay out. You can take a nap there, but I'll do some digging and I'll ask if there's any sleeping pods. That's pretty interesting, especially because Shohei loves to sleep the way he does. But I don't think there's designated areas, but there are places that you can take naps for sure. We've got D-Mac. Didn't you want McMahon a few weeks ago? Hey, McMahon is someone that I think you don't even necessarily need to be a replacement there. I mean, you could, if they're truly looking to bolster their bench and think of the future beyond next year, you could consider that as well. So, I mean, the way I look at the roster is things change based on new information, and things change when you see guys produce at an extended clip. Like, we need to see more from Conforto, and I think Tanner Scott as well, to think, okay, they're completely out of their little funks that they've been in. And Tanner Scott really hasn't been as bad as people are trying to label him as. People trying to say that he's some $72 million bust. No, he has even been decent before, but no. Is a question from Adam Young. Glasnow will be dominating if every season was 20 and 60 games. Ellis Shiva Jones, D-Mac, are you going to the Muncy event? Y'all be there for sure. BL Boyd. So Conforto is trending up after one hit. You serious? This is what I was afraid of. One big hit extends the futility of him in the everyday lineup. So you're right. He's still hitting 167. And I'm someone who always says that it takes more than one game to get in a slump. It takes more than one game to get out of a slump. But I think with Michael Conforto, like I said yesterday, they are not going to allow this to go past the All-Star break at an extended run if he's struggling still. So, yes, the truth is he is trending up, because before he had that hit with extra bases yesterday, Before he had that hit with runners in scoring position that gave the Dodgers the lead and ultimately won them the game. Before that, he was 0 for his last 30 with runners in scoring position, right? He could hit water if he fell off a boat in those spots. That's how much he had been struggling. But yes, you are trending up when you have more success than you're having. And look, Conforto's been in this league for a long time, and his teammates believe in him. The hitting coaches believe in him. The staff believes in him. And the truth of the matter is if he doesn't produce, they're going to move on, like they did with Jason Hayward, like they did with Noah Syndergaard, like they did with Chris Taylor and Austin Barnes, and plenty of different players. So it's nothing to worry about. It's more of, okay, it shouldn't be looked at as a negative. It's not like, oh, we're playing this guy and giving him extended run because we want him to fail, because we want to prove to ourselves that we need to make a move and give someone else those at-bats. No, they're doing that in the hope that they get the guy they thought they had signed that was one of the hottest players in the second half of the season last year. So that's what they saw. Enrique Ortiz, D-Mac, Muncy, Gratterall bar fight is scary. Yeah, I mean, Bruce Dark Gratterall is a big dude, and you wouldn't want to mess with him for sure. I mean, he's a tough SOB. Ellis Shiva Jones, D-Mac, when is Emmett Sheehan possibly returning to our pitching mound? So Emmett Sheehan has looked phenomenal in his rehab appearances. He's someone that Dave Roberts has already said is his pick to click later this summer just because of how good he's looked. His last appearance, he had 5 strikeouts. He gave just 2 hits, no walks, and 3 scoreless innings last Sunday. And you're going to look at a return for him at some point at the end of this month because that's when he's eligible to come back. I expect him to be a weapon. He has one of the most explosive fastballs in this organization. The last time we saw him, you saw this stuff play at a very high level, and the organization feels like he's almost kind of a under-the-radar X-Factor type of player. Adam Young, Twilight Zone trade. The A's trade their Max Muncy to L.A. for Outman. That'd be pretty wild. I mean, the crazy thing is that they're born on the same day. It'd be one thing to have 2 Max Muncys in the same profession, but in a league where there's like 700 players, to have multiple people named Max Muncy and have their birthday be on the same exact day on August 25th is absolutely insane. Tony, he raged on all those old picks. Major, Chip Hazard, Conforto has only been an all-star once. Why do we have these unrealistic expectations for the type of player he is? I mean, the all-star doesn't tell you everything about, I mean, all-star is not even the full season, right? I mean, like, no one's expecting, like, when you sign a 1-year, $17 million deal, you're not expected to hit like Freddie, Shohei, and Mookie Betts, but the profile that he's hit at as far as hard contact, as far as home runs, he had 20 home runs last year, and 20 home runs for $17 million is not insane if you can produce at an above average level offensively. Sebastian Frickle, D-Mac looking cute as always. Bruh. Hey, it's probably my mom's burner or something. No, but Samuel Ellis, also my damn house to help pay for a Skenes trade. I'm not even kidding. I like it. You sell your damn house. I like that. That's someone who's down for the cause, man. Parker Lee, I love this. Forget torpedo bats, torpedo glasses. Fire take. Armani bled towards D-Mac. Why are we plagued by injuries again, just like last season? I mean, I've talked about this so many times. I mean, you get players and pitchers that throw the hardest and they throw the pitches that have the highest spin rates. They're more susceptible to injuries. I saw this strange little conspiracy rumor going around that since the Dodgers have had driveline, like Rob Hill taking over, that's led to more injuries. It's not how it is. I mean, the Dodgers deal with injuries more than other organizations for sure, but there's a lot of luck involved. You got to have guys stay healthy and get guys the right build up to be able to help you when it matters most. But look, I mean, I've ran into Andrew Friedman a couple times in the last couple of days, and I keep telling him, hey, you got to come to the studio, man. Got to come, Andrew. I told him we have a special gift for him, which is a surprise, and I know he's going to love it. And when he comes here, we'll ask him, and we'll see what he has to say. Delirium 9, Comet was a kickboxing gold medalist in a past life. Yo soy Big Willie, I'm all in with Muncy as long as he wears the bifocals. Ellis Shiva Jones, D-Mac, love your Dodgers. Hawaiian Chair. Okay, let's get some more down below. Pick Graphic says Conforto needs to get glasses, but 3D, LOL. Joe Mama, Dos Equis or Corona? That's a good one. You know what? Honestly, I'm not a beer snob. Like I'm pretty, I'd crush like a 12 pack of Natty Ice if if the situation called for it. But I mean, Modelo is definitely up there. Pacifico's up there. If I had to pick between kind of those, but I'd probably let's go with the Corona and Lime. Dos Equis is solid too, though. I mean, honestly, brings me back those old days. Rosarito, you get the bucket of beers, you go crazy with it. Hey, I remember those times. But yeah, what's your guys' favorite beer? Drop it down below in the comment section. It's a fun Friday here on Dodgers Dugout Live. Jose Aguirre, Corbin Burns blew his elbow out. I guess that's the Dodgers' fault too. Yeah, I mean, Jose, I mentioned it on this show when people were saying Max Fried and this and that. It takes one pitch for a pitcher's season to change, and that's true. Nando, D-Mac is a Moscow Mule kind of hipster. I had my Moscow Mule phase. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, not these days. You know what I'm saying? Joseph H. I'm a Coke Zero on the rocks type dude. Joseph H. D-Mac, what are your predictions for the Cards series? So look, I mean, this is a Cardinals team that is playing a lot better heading into this series. They have missed the playoffs the last couple of years. They were 5 games under 500 as of early May, but now they're 6 games over 500. They've gone 20-9 in their last 29 games. They're second place in the NL Central, so they're right there in the wild card mix. So it's going to be a good series. You're above a 500 team. You got Yoshinobu Yamamoto getting his 5th day of rest, so he's going to go on Saturday. Justin Robleski, he gets the start tonight. So I like this Dodgers team. Let's go. You got Sonny Gray. He's coming off a 10 strikeout performance. Let's go 2 out of 3 for LA. Let's go to 2 out of 3 for LA. I think the offense comes alive. I think you got some guys feeling good in the lineup. I hope for a big series for Mookie Betts. By the way, as you guys saw, I asked Mookie. I mean, we'll play it maybe on another show because we'll dive a little deeper into that one. But I did ask Mookie the question that no one's wanted to ask him. And the question you guys always ask me on this show, I asked Mookie, I said, hey, Mookie, does playing shortstop impact your offensive production at all? And I kind of just went out there with it. I just want to hear what he had to say. And Mookie said, no, it hasn't. And he pointed out that he was really hitting at an MVP level before he went down with the injury last season. And that's when his shortstop play was below average. So he was also putting more work in at the position pre-game. So theoretically, you would say that he's already proven that with more work at the position, last year, the offense was still good. And this year, the defense is better, but the offense has kind of taken a dip. So only time will tell. But right now, Mookie is saying, no, that is not the case. But all right, guys, we are running out of time. So let's get into the walk-off.
The walk-off.
Hits the ball to right field. She is gone!
All right, so for today's walk-off, Shohei Ohtani was gifted a Porsche by his manager, Dave Roberts, and it was a gift for his newborn daughter.
So I'm surprising Shohei. My wife and I purchased this remote car, electronic car for his daughter. And so Shohei's been very gracious, and we've got this long-running practical joke. So this is more of a sincere gesture, not necessarily a practical joke, but I wanted to present it to him. I have a gift for you. Actually, for your daughter. So this is from my wife and me to you and your family and your daughter. So we have jokes always, but this is a little bit of a joke. It's a Porsche.
Yeah.
But this is going to be your daughter's first car.
Thank you. I love it.
Okay?
I love it. Thank you.
So this is a little bit of a joke, but it's a sincere joke for Shohei's daughter. So it's a nice little pink Porsche. Not bad, huh? Remote.
Nice.
But I had to get this for you, okay?
Okay.
And then we'll make sure that we get
I
it
thought
to you.
I'm in trouble. Some trouble.
Thank you, Shohei.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good? Appreciate you.
Thank
You got it, Shohei. Thank you.
Yeah, you got it.
Can I keep it? Okay. Thank you.
Such a wholesome dude. First things first, why does Shohei Ohtani's newborn daughter drive a nicer car than me? No, I'm just kidding. I actually have a remote control Honda Accord. that I drive. But no, I can't believe that. I mean, nice car for his daughter. I love the fact, too, that he rolls up in there like it's a sitcom. Then he turns the corner and he's just laughing. That Seth Rogen laugh from Shohei Ohtani gets me every single time. You can't unhear it. Every time you hear Shohei laugh, you're going to think of Seth Rogen. But yeah, wholesome moment. Great dude. I love the way that he comes in there and then after he's like, can I keep it? He thinks it's like a bid or something, but he gets to keep it. That really awesome stuff from Shohei Ohtani, Dave Roberts, and I like their ongoing little prank wars, just kind of little moments they have with each other. And I think Dave is kind of hinting like, hey, man, like I really want the Porsche that you kind of promised me for the World Series. But all right, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of Dodgers Dugout Live. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMac_LA. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, hit the like button. Special thanks to Max Muncy. Go to his event, Uncork for a Cause. All the details down below. Have a great weekend. Dodgers taking 2 out of 3 against the Redbirds. Starts tonight with Justin Roblesky on the mound. But see you guys after the game for the post-game show. Have a great weekend. And remember, nothing brings together quite like Dodger baseball. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
Start the party, Los Angeles! Your Dodgers have won the World Series!
And when the upcoming winter gives way to spring, rest assured, once again, it will be time for Dodger baseball.